Hello everyone, Wild Fox here, and welcome to another Customs in Disguise review. Today I'm going to be reviewing my custom painted Optimus Prime. Now some of you will have seen this figure in some of my other reviews, but I decided to make a separate review for this figure because I wanted to showcase some of the details I personally made to him. So, as you can see, yeah, it's Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. It doesn't look any different than he normally does, but except I did make a lot of enhanced changes to him, particularly on some of the silver parts, and added a few red parts and blue parts. And of course, stating the obvious, the Autobot symbols I put on his shoulders, because as soon as I got this figure, I gave him the symbols immediately, because he just looked wrong without them. So let's take a look at the details I've made. So let's start with the gun. So here we are. So yeah, for the gun, oh, Optimus doesn't want to stand. There we go. So yeah, here we are. Here's the gun. So you're probably wondering, how did I make it look so war-torn, battle-damaged? And I mean, it looks like it's actually been through a war and been through years of conflict. So yeah, it looks really cool. So basically what I used for that, I used Painter's Touch Silver. And that goes for the rest of the figure as well. So I just used a thin coat and brushed it all across the gun. And yeah, that's how you get that pretty much gunmetal grey effect. It just looks really, really good. And yeah, that'll do it for that. So let's take a look at the figure itself. So, I mean, the shins and the feet are pretty much the same, nothing changed there. So I pretty much used the silver to paint all the leg, also through here, as well as the torso area. And I used Painter's Touch red, particularly for these parts. So I painted these little sections here, and as well as this part. So some of you may not notice, but in the movie, these parts on his belly here are actually red. And so for the arms, yeah, I painted these parts silver, as well as here as well. And I painted the hands blue using Painter's Touch blue. There you go. Same goes for here on this section, that's also blue as well. And I also use Painter's Touch yellow for the triangles because I just think it looks great. It's a shame they're not completely accurate because normally he has 2 lines above his triangle, but for some reason for the figure they only gave him 1, so that's unfortunate. And I don't really want to dare like paint another yellow line because I think I would just ruin it. I also use silver to make these little scrape marks on his chest. Hope you can see that. But yeah, it looks great. I also use some red on these parts. Now, normally a lot of people, when they're customizing this, they normally paint it silver or just leave it black. But honestly, in the movie, if you look closely, these parts are actually red. So I just decided, and honestly, it took me so long to paint these parts red because it was just liquid going through it, and it took so long to dry out. So I used the silver also to paint up the pipes, and they look amazing. And you're probably wondering, how can I see through his chest so well? Well, because I also, and it was quite tricky to do. I also painted the inside of his chest silver as well, so it's more consistent. And yeah, you get a nice shine through it, so it's really nice. Also painted the mouth as well, some silver, so that looks great. And for the back, nothing really different. I painted in a couple of silver highlights, but that was really the most I could do. So yeah, that's the back of it, so it looks great. I'm not going to bother transforming him, because honestly, in truck mode, he looks no different than the normal standard edition version, so there's no point. But I will do, however, some comparisons. So let's put him next to his little buddy, Bumblebee, his co-star. Well, more like Bumblebee with his co-star, actually. But yeah, they look great together. And you're probably wondering, because some of you may not know, I actually removed Bumblebee's backpack because it was just a waste of space and it just made it look like the Michael Bay Bumblebee. And I did not like that. So I took the pin off that and it takes off the whole backpack and you get a much more screen accurate Bumblebee. So it's definitely rewarding doing that. Let's put him next to a more better Bumblebee figure, Off-Road Bumblebee. There you go. Yep, they look great together. Honestly, I love this Bumblebee, and I cannot wait for the Cybertron Bumblebee to come out. I mean, it just looks really good. So, yeah, there it goes. Let's put Optimus next to his rival, my custom-painted Megatron. If you've not seen that review yet, go and check it out. So, yeah, that is the closest thing to a G1 Megatron we can get, or Bumblebee Megatron, and they look great together. I absolutely love the Last Night mold Megatron for Voyager class, and it was so worth painting. They just look great together. Plus, Megatron's actually taller than Prime, which he should be. So there we go. Oh, I'm also going to mention this detail. I never mentioned in my Megatron review. I actually painted red into his fusion cannon, just to make it look like there's a bit of energy flowing through that, so it looks cool. And, what the heck. I'll compare him next to Starscream. If you haven't seen that review, go and check it out, along with my other custom Seekers. And, oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to put pretty much his opposite here. Let's see what he looks like next to Nemesis Prime. Now, you're probably wondering, where did I get this? Well, this is Deformation's Voyager class Nemesis Prime. It's really affordable. You can buy it on eBay or maybe in their store, wherever you can find it. And honestly, it is worth the price. Definitely go for Deformation's Nemesis Prime. It is a really solid figure. In fact, I dare say more solid than the standard edition Optimus Prime. Because, like, even if you want Deformation Optimus Prime, I would go for it too. I was even tempted at one point. Because they're both exactly the same, except Nemesis is more die-cast, particularly in the chest. And the only difference is that these parts on his shins don't clip in. But let's be honest, neither does the standard edition, at least not well. So the only customs I made on Nemesis is I painted his little triangles red. And I gave his gun the same weather effect as Optimus. And of course, the obvious, gave him Decepticon symbols. Because why not? He looks awesome that way. So yeah, just absolutely recommend Deformations. They're amazing. So yeah, that is my review of my custom Bumblebee Optimus Prime. I hope you enjoyed it. My next review will be on my custom Galvatron, so stay tuned for that. Leave a comment down below, subscribe for more, and I will see you all later.